They say that monkeys are better than people at picking stocks. I heard this theory many times and I decided to check whether it is true or not myself. I decided to invest into penny stocks, something that I've never done before, and in this video I'm going to reveal to you what penny stocks I bought, what penny stocks are, what my projection for these penny stocks are, and why. Well, because I'm not a monkey, I actually made a little bit of research before buying these penny stocks, so I have some reasoning behind investing into these particular companies that I wanted to share with you in this video. If you are interested in this information, then keep watching. Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Anastasia. On this channel I talk about investing, and especially investing for beginners. If you've been following my channel for some time, you know that I invest on different platforms, and different platforms I use for different strategies. For example, I use Vanguard for long-term investing, I use eToro for copy trading and for middle-term investing, I use Freetrade for dividend stock, and I also use Trading212, and Trading212 is my experimental profile where I decided to invest into penny stocks to see how it is to be able to trade some stocks, and I invested the sum of money that I am prepared to lose because I understand that penny stocks involve very high risk. And this is something that you also have to understand. So as I already said, this is just an experiment, and in this video I'm going to tell you which stocks I bought and why, and in a couple of months maybe I am going to make an update on this profile to show you what results I achieved after investing into penny stocks. So if you don't want to miss this video, then you may consider subscribing to this channel. So first of all, let's talk about what penny stocks are. Penny stocks are those that don't necessarily cost pennies, but they are cheap stock. You can find the definition online that penny stock is the stock that costs below $5 per share, but then I watched the videos of many YouTubers who say that they invested into penny stocks, but these penny stocks were under $10. In my situation, I call penny stocks all the stocks that belong to small or unknown companies and that are cheap. So some of the companies I invested in, they were about $25 to $30 per share. And penny stocks are considered to be very risky. That is because obviously when the company is not well established, when the company is small, there is a higher chance of going bankrupt or in general anything going wrong with this company. But for some reason penny stocks are very popular with investors, and especially beginner investors. And I made the conclusion that there are two main reasons to that. The first reason is that of course the hunger, the wish to become rich for beginner investors is much higher. It's like a little baby who is not scared to get burned and touches every single hot pot that they can see in the kitchen. With time, when they get burned a little bit several times, so in our situation when they lose money, they learn gradually not to touch the hot pot, and they start investing into index funds or into safer assets like, for example, bonds. So let's say that I am this little baby and my mom has already told me not to touch the hot pot, but I thought, I know better. I should try to touch this hot pot to know what it feels like and to learn my own lesson. But maybe this hot pot is not that hot. The second reason is psychological reason, which I cannot explain, but I also feel this way, and let me know in the comments if you have the same kind of feeling when it comes to investing. So of course the number of shares doesn't really matter. What matters when it comes to investing is the amount that you invest, the amount of money that you invest, and the percentage that you lose or gain. So what I mean is whether you buy 50 shares, 50 full shares at $1 per share, or you buy 0.001% of Bitcoin for the same $50, it doesn't matter. Because if you bought 50 full shares that are going to gain 10%, it's $5, but if you bought 0.0001% of Bitcoin for the same $50 and it grew by 50%, well, that's already $25. So it doesn't matter how many shares or how big a fraction of a share you own at the beginning. What matters is the percentage that it grows or falls. But for some inexplicable inexplicable. But for some unknown reason, it makes me feel better when I know that I own 50 full shares. So I think this is the second reason of why beginner investors like investing into penny stocks that much. I know it's wrong, and even though I feel like that, I don't kind of follow these feelings, but I'm just sharing my thoughts with you, and I would be really interested to know if you think the same, if any of you think the same. So let me know in the comments. Okay, so now let's talk about the shares and the companies that I actually bought. To me, my choices seem very logical, and when I was choosing the company and the sectors that I wanted to invest in, the step number one that I made was just reading the news and using common sense. Well, before the pandemic started, there was this big discussion about legalizing cannabis, and I'm sure that it is going to happen, and it is going to happen in the nearest future. The reason why it hasn't happened yet is because the government was busy with other questions like lockdowns, shutting the economy down. But now when it all starts to recover, I think as soon as the economy reopens and the country reopens again and the coronavirus is over, legalizing cannabis will be one of the first questions that the government will get back to. And those companies that are involved in the production of cannabis or somehow connected to cannabis will win. So then my next step was to make the research about the companies that are connected to cannabis, those not very big companies, and the company that I ended up choosing is called Sundial Growers, and it is trading currently at $0.9 per share. I'm losing on this company, on this investment a little bit, because I bought it at $1.19 per share. I invested about $50 into it, and when I invested into this company, the cost of one share was about $1.19 dollars per share. So of course I'm losing the money, but I think it's pretty normal with penny stocks, and I was prepared for it. So I hope that it will recover as soon as the talks about legalizing cannabis will go back to where they were before the pandemic started. If we look at the graph of a 1 year graph, we see that at some point it was trading at nearly $2.7 per share, and then of course it fell back down. But who's there to say that this kind of jump will not happen again? And this is what I'm hopeful for. Generally speaking, Sundial Growers is a risky company, and there are definitely other bigger companies that are involved in the production of cannabis that are more stable, that if you want to invest in, you'd probably go for those companies. But because my Trading 212 portfolio is a risky portfolio, I thought, well, why not give it a try and invest $50 into this company. We'll see how it will perform in the future. The second thing that I was thinking about when choosing the sector to invest in was the industrial bill that is coming out very soon in the US. At the moment, this document is going from institution to institution, waiting for some signatures and approvals, but it is obvious that it will come out in one form or the other in the nearest future, and then those companies that are involved into rebuilding, building and improving of infrastructure will win of this infrastructure bill, which I think is worth $6 billion. My next step was to think about the companies that may win, and then looking for smaller companies with some big potential in this sphere. And the company that I came across was Lithium Americas with the ticker LAC. At the moment it is trading at $13 per share, and when I bought it, it was about $15 per share. So again, I'm losing money, but it's not a big percentage, and it's not a lot of money that I invested on the first place. But my reasoning behind choosing this company and investing into this particular company were the following. Well, first of all, if we're looking at 1 year return and the max return, we see that the company is showing the constant growth, and at the moment it's not trading and at its all-time high, and at some point it was trading at about $22, so I bought my shares at nearly half a price of its all-time high. And on top of that, this company produces lithium, which is used for everything, literally everything nowadays when it comes to producing batteries, microchips, also infrastructure in America. So this company has a huge potential, I hope and I think, and it has announced that it's going to expand into Argentina as well, which is another bonus. It is growing at a much faster rate than the average growth in this sector of economy, and it has outperformed the expectations when the last financial report was released. All these factors together made me think that this was not such a bad option and not such a bad investment, even though at the moment I'm in red and I'm at a loss. The next sector is oil. Oil has fallen massively when the pandemic started and everything got shut down, and after that, for about 6 months now, it's been recovering slowly, but it still has huge potential. Many companies have huge potential anyway, and so the company that I chose in the oil sector is Oxy, or Occidental Petroleum. At the moment, it is trading at $26 per share, and when I bought it, it was $29 per share, so again I'm losing some money. But if we look at the 1-year graph, we see that it is growing, and at the moment it is not at its peak. And if we look at the maximum graph, we see that it is not trading anywhere near where it used to trade before the pandemic started. It used to trade at some point at about $93 per share, so it is 3 times more than what it is being traded now. I don't know whether I'm wrong or right, and only time will tell. And I think that the alternative energy companies definitely have more potential, but I am already investing into those companies through copy trading on eToro, and I think it is pretty clear that oil is not going anywhere anytime soon. And the last company that I invested in, and this is actually quite funny, is called Sesen Bio. This is the company that researches cancer and is looking for the cure from the cancer. And the story of why I bought this company is pretty funny. I think I watched some YouTube video where the guy was explaining the reasoning behind buying this particular company, and I liked it. And I thought, for that day, I've already extended my purchase limit, and I had only $15 or so left in my account. So I thought, well, I might as well just invest this $50 into this company. And what happened? Well, this company has grown. I bought it at $3 per share, and at the moment it is nearly $5 per share. The only problem is that I invested only like $15 or $20 into it against $50 that I invested into the other companies. So I have some nice profit on this company, but of course it's not life-changing because it's only $4 or $5 altogether because of how little I invested into this company that ended up being the most successful of my investments. Well, that's it, guys. If you want to know the continuation of this story, and if you want to see how this stock will perform in the nearest future, if you have any comments about my reasoning behind buying these companies, if you agree with me or disagree, anything you want to share with me, please leave your thoughts in the comment section below this video. And thank you very much for your time and attention today, and I hope to see you soon. Bye bye.